Should we talk about Starfield now? Anything else we want to
Yeah.
mention about the leaks, or are we leaked up?
Nah, I think we're leaked out.
Chip, have you played any more Starfield?
I played some Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Will you ever play more Starfield? Did you uninstall Starfield?
I haven't installed it. I was like, I don't I don't know that I
Spit
need
it
to
out.
play any more of it.
Why?
Like, I just don't find it interesting. There's no, like, knowing that there's the space game, that there's no aliens, right? No
Right.
aliens.
Right.
No aliens. No. I wasn't getting any joy from when I was playing it. And
It wasn't sparking joy.
It felt like I was just going through the motions when I was of what I was doing.
That's what it feels like when I play it.
And I know that that also means going through the motions for like 80 hours, probably.
It's a lot of motions, is what you're saying.
It's a lot of motions. I don't care about the characters that were presented to me. I feel I have no attachment. Like, and I've only played an hour of it, but like, that's an hour of it. Like,
Sure.
hook me in the first hour. And I don't know. I kind of dread, like, I'm like, oh, I'm going to run into resource management issues here. I know I am.
You
right?
will.
Like, I'm going to have to deal with resources.
Breathing. How about breathing? Do you like breathing in your games? Like when you carry stuff and you breathe more heavily and then you go slow?
But I know that's where I'm going to put all my points. Like, I already know.
Right.
I know exactly how I'm going to play the game.
You're going to put it into carry more stuff.
Yeah. Put it in the carry more stuff.
Breathe better.
And then like the rest of it just gets equally distributed throughout all the other crap. Maybe I'll put some stuff into like lock picking or whatever.
Oh, I put all mine into lock picking and persuade.
Yeah, it's lock picker and persuasion, because that's the only interesting paths to go with everything. Everything else is just like, I guess I'm going to do more damage.
Bad combat.
Yeah, because I like to walk into a place and have the guy go, "What? You can't come in here," and then it has a persuade, and I'm like, "Oh, I got this."
Actually, I can.
Yeah.
Like I think I can walk in here.
Right.
Oh, hell yeah, you can.
Right. And that turned me off too in that first like little bit. Like I talked about that last week. Like I killed all these guys like henchmen or whatever. And then I got to him. It's like persuaded him just to like for like no good reason to not even fight me. Or I didn't even fight him. I guess I probably could have killed him after I convinced him not to fight me.
Yeah. You can fuck with it. There's
I don't know.
There's no modern.
I just don't have it in me. Like, I don't expect to find anything interesting in the game.
You have to bring that yourself to the game. You have to bring your own like imagination to those types of situations.
There was a mission where I was like kidnapped and thrown on a ship, and I fought my way out, and they were like, "We're gonna find you and hunt you down," as I was leaving. Yeah. And then when I left the ship, I blew that ship up. And I said, "Yeah, you're not gonna find anybody because you're all dead now."
Right. Like, I persuaded. There were some people waiting for me outside that were bad guys and they wanted to fight me. I persuaded them not to fight me because whatever, like you say, the combat's predictable, whatever, it's boring. I'm going to kill them in 2 seconds. Let's see what happens. Let me persuade them, right? I persuaded them to not fight me and I won, so they didn't fight me. But then I'm like, well, wait a minute. Now I'm not going to, and then they gave me some gift, right? And then I'm like, but they still have more stuff on their bodies, so why don't I just kill them anyway and then take all their stuff? I'm sure there'll be no consequences. And that's exactly what I did. I killed them in 3. I just pulled out my sword. Whoop, whoop, whoop. They're dead. They couldn't do anything. Dead in 2 seconds. Took all their stuff. And nobody said anything. Like my companion didn't care. Like nobody just was, whatever. It was just like a game I played 15 years ago. You'd expect that in a game from 15 years ago. These days you'd expect.
And I'd even be okay with it if it was in, to be quite honest, if it was in the Elder Scrolls universe.
Why is the space a turnoff? The space is a draw for me personally, but
it's not interesting space.
Yeah, I think the problem is I've played a lot more than both of you.
Yes.
Both of you combined.
Yes.
I'm pretty much done with the main story. There's one mission left, but for some reason it won't let me do it. I think I have to like upgrade something that I just haven't. So I started doing something else anyway. This main storyline is terrible. That's part of the problem also.
It's such cliche, right? We've seen this same story a billion times.
A billion times, and it's unnecessary, and it honestly may not need to be there. They could have oh, there's a cat behind Chip. They could have gone with
I had no idea there was one in the room.
There's a cat with you. They could have gone with a less is more approach where, you know, I think that sometimes that's what works. Like, I think that might be why Skyrim works well, is that I still couldn't tell you what the main storyline is. You're a dragonborn, I think is the main storyline. And even that is like, whatever that means. Yeah. Like, it's so loose. And this one, they try to make it a little less loose, and that doesn't work. Where it's like, you gotta find the artifacts, and you gotta go to these places and uncover this mystery that no one cares about. And I'm not even going to get into what the twist is. Like, it just doesn't work. But the side quest, like right now I'm doing the side mission thing, which is so much more interesting, where I join the Navy, the Galactic Navy, and they asked me to go undercover as a pirate. So I'm doing the quest for the pirates, the pirate quest line.
Yeah.
And every now and again, it's like, okay, now you got to go back to the Navy ship. And I go back to the Navy ship and I tell them all the shit that and I rat out everybody to that, all the stuff the pirates are doing. And I'm collecting evidence of what the pirates are doing, but I'm still doing all the pirate stuff.
Right.
Also. So I'm like playing both sides. And that's kind of fun. And that's significantly more like, if that was the game, like you're a guy who maybe you're a good guy, maybe you're a bad guy, you're working with both factions, you're towing the line, as you play the game, because I'm sure it's going to come to a point, because all these games do this, there's going to be a point in that game where they're going to be like, you have to decide where your loyalties are. Are you loyal to the Navy, or are you loyal to the space pirates? Are you going to help the pirates get away with the heist of a lifetime, which is what you're working towards, or are you going to help the Navy and bust all the pirates? And what do you get for that? What's your reward for busting all the pirates? And again, that's a significantly more interesting thing to do, because that one also involves there's dog fighting for some of the missions, there's breaking into an abandoned prison, there's going undercover as a guest on a party cruise to steal someone's key card so you could break into a bank. I mean, these are things that are significantly more interesting than, so we're a group of guys and we get together to talk about, artifacts that we found. We need you to find the other.
You're the chosen one, the only one who can get them, and then you have the superpowers. Every time you get one, you got to do this thing. You got to find the art.
Yeah, it's like I don't. Yeah. So the problem is that they just didn't know where, or maybe they did. Like they know, like
it's your
the interesting
same thing you said last week.
Here.
It's too much. Like they made the game too big. Just like you said last week, they could have made it smaller, had more interesting, focus for the main story. They didn't have to make like. It doesn't have to be. Does it have to be 100 hours? Like,
I mean, I guess I get why they would want to do that. I just think that maybe they should have not funneled it through a main story. Like maybe there is a way to do that, to not have there be this thing. I know we all keep looking at the three-legged cat.
Hey, you're not supposed to say that. It makes her self-conscious.
That's okay.
You can't hear.
The cat doesn't know.
No.
Yeah, like the cat.
I don't know.
The cat's wearing a tuxedo for the show too. How could you be mad at it?
Don't you think though? Like one of the biggest problems with Skyrim, with Starfield for me is at its core, it's a first-person shooter that's 30 frames per second. And
I haven't shot anyone in like 7 hours in that game.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
I've been doing all these missions where you
just
like
talk
go
to people and you're skipping all the dialogue.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I just go on the ship and I wait for the persuade option, and it's like, and I don't kill anybody, and
I can't find the joy like ship. In fact, not only can I not find the joy, I was walking through some fucking like some place on Neon, and I used my force power on some civilian. Like I didn't know it was gonna cause a whole fucking thing. So I fucking blew this lady over, and then like I have a bounty, but I didn't even know I had a bounty. And then like I guess I did some more stuff, and my bounty went up, and I didn't really, like I said, I didn't know I had a bounty. So now all my auto saves have my bounty, and my bounty is like 100,000 now. So all my auto saves have 100,000, and I don't have 100,000. So I probably just uninstall the game at that point.
You should just go to jail.
You can't. There's no jail. They just shoot me.
There is a tour game jail. Go to New Atlantis and try there.
But you mean you just turn yourself into the jail?
Yeah.
But you have to like avoid like people shooting at you, like running by them the whole time. It's really like not fun.
I don't know. I haven't had to deal with that, but I looked it up when you complained, and from what I read, you just got to go to jail. But which is also that's a very Skyrim thing, as Howard says in the chat. I mean,
but because it happened in a certain place and it's under the jurisdiction of the Freestar Collective, I can't remove the bounty at the normal bounty terminals or wherever you normally would. And I'm just having a tough time, like not getting shot at everywhere I go, and finding the fun. Also, I find the frame rate is very shitty also at times. Like
I'm not having any.
Did you go to Neon? Have you been on Neon?
I've been to yeah.
Oh, maybe
I went to Neon. I did. There's a whole thing you got to do there for the main story where you got to go to the bar and
maybe I had sunspots or something
talk to the lady, and you got to get the private room. Did you get the private room?
Some fish. You can get high off of some fish there.
Yeah, no, I didn't do that.
I went right for that. I got the private room.
I went with the guy who owns the building. There's a guy who owns a building in Neon who's one of the Constellation or whatever the hell they're called.
Right.
Oh, and I also got rejected by the blonde lady. She fed me the "It's not you, it's me" line.
Right.
So I said, okay, well, I guess we got to part ways, and I went right for the Russian lady. She's now my companion.
Did you blast her with a gravity field?
I probably should have.
Yeah,
but,
it won't matter.
No.
Nothing happens. She just gets back up again. I do that all the time with the crew.
I went on a planet, and it was like, we gotta save these people. And the guy who runs the planet's like, I'm not saving any people. I'm a bad guy. And I'm like, oh, you're a bad guy. So as soon as he stopped talking, I pulled out my gun and I shot him.
Right.
And because there was a quest line involving him, he wouldn't die. He would just crawl around on the floor.
That's the thing.
And everyone tried to arrest me, and I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of lame. And then I just restarted from,
Right.
I always save right before I'm about to do, like, oh, I'm going to do something stupid to see what happens, but let me save right before I do it.
See, that's what I would have done, but I didn't know I was doing something stupid. I was just playing the game. And then
that's the other thing with this game is that I find I have to save it like every 5 minutes because A, I don't want to lose progress, and B, I don't want something stupid to happen. It's, that's also a Skyrim thing. It's like, oh, I better save here because I don't have vampirism yet. And then you go into a cave and a vampire bites you and you get vampirism. And you're like, oh, I better reload that. Start this cave over again.
Yeah.
Being a vampire is a pain in the ass.
Xbox fucked up, dude. They've had a bad run. They've had a bad go at it.
They've had a bad run. I don't think Starfield's as bad as you think it is.
Halo to Redfall to Starfield.
Redfall's garbage. Redfall's garbage.
Starfield got a 7 from IGN and GameSpot, which is surprising. I mean, like I'm impressed that the reviewers had the balls to put that out there. I see what, I don't disagree with their assessment, but that's not a great score for their biggest game.
Don't worry,
how much did they pay for Bethesda?
$1 billion or something?
No, it was a lot more than $1 billion, right? It was a lot. Anyway, I know a lot of people are enjoying it. I don't want to take the fun away from anybody else, but I'm looking for the fun. There's a great, what's it, Hard Drive? Hard Drive is like the Onion for video games, and they put out a video like how to find the fun in Starfield. The 3-minute guide, and it's just the guy like going through the menus, flying from planet to planet. He's like, oh, nope, no fun here, just an empty planet. Like, oh, no fun here. He's like, oh, guys, we ran out of time. We'll be back next week trying to find the fun. You just do this. Just keep doing this until you find the fun.
Now that I have more ships, so that's kind of more fun. I have 5 spaceships now, so that's kind of cool.
But they're all, same. And you don't spend much time on them. It doesn't really matter. I bought a new cargo hold. I didn't know how to do it, so I had to Google it, and then I found Arthur Guy's video on it. Because they don't explain anything in
cargo hold. That sounds sweet.
Cargo hold. I mean, I figured it would be
Like-
easy to figure out how to
like
do that.
a garage.
It's like
I
a
just-
extra thing you attach to the ship. That part's kind of cool. Building the ship is cool. I wish that it felt like it was really a ship and I was flying it places and going places with it. But the builder is cool. Once you Google it and figure out how to use it, because they don't tell you.
Yeah, no, I find that all daunting, and I'm never gonna do it.
It's not that hard once you watch Arthur's video. It was only a few minutes.